listening to Shut Up and Invest.
All right, here we go. I think we got a Hall of Fame member so far in the Shut Up and Invest family. Your name's been dropped a few times if you don't know, by the way.
Has.
But we got Batman and Robin in here. We're going to find out. We're gonna find out the dynamic duo. Christina, your name's been mentioned. People ask us, who is this Christina? Because we've been talking about you on the show.
She must be the most talked about person we talk about. I got a message yesterday. What's that program, Christina? I mean, who's Christina? I don't know.
Lies.
Like, Christina, you talk about on the show. Oh, that Christina.
Why don't y'all introduce yourselves, what markets you in, and we'll get the party started.
You go first.
So, hey guys, I am Rashana Scott here with the infamous Christina Spales. I am born and raised in Chicago, South Side.
Chi-Town?
Yep, there you go. Chi-Town, not Chirac. And make sure everybody knows that.
Chi-Town. I love Chi-Town.
Yeah, but I'm an investor in Chicago, also a realtor. My specialty or my niche is raising private capital. So I work with investors for all of my flips, buy and hold, have experience in tax lien investing, wholesaling, and just all things real estate. My niche, I guess you can say, as far as working on the realtor side, is I'm hashtag the investors realtor. So I encourage a lot of first-time home buyers to obviously become investors by doing like the whole house hacking thing. And that market has completely just taken off like crazy, so much so that I'm even transitioning the flip model for the single family into the buy and holds. So already having the end buyer and bringing them a quality product that they can actually move into and purchase, because that's what everybody wants right now. So the properties that I have under contract are already sold before I even start working on them. Awesome. The last thing about myself, I am also the founder of Flipping in Heels, so which is an online community for women who invest in real estate. So when I first got started in this business and invested thousands of dollars into real estate investing education, it was not with a woman. And it definitely wasn't with a woman who looked like me. And so for that, I was like, yo, we need to, well, who is she? Where is she? Like, before I started meeting all these dope people on social media, like Christina, like Aisha, like Crystal, like before I started meeting all these amazing women, I was like, who is she? Where is she? So I was like, okay, well, let me try to create her and bring other women together who are like her. So from there, Flipping in Heels is I do events through there, launching a podcast through there, like just doing more and more through there to raise awareness in this very male-dominated industry, to show women that you can not only cut the check, but you can cash the check too, especially in this business.
All right. Money in the bank on that one.
Is
Flipping in Heels.
Wow.
That is that.
Damn, girl.
Now you know why we're friends.
Yeah.
So
Christina, this is the homecoming, right?
Yeah. So we're in Miami for an event called Live Wired that we're both speakers at. So Rashana and I connected probably over a year ago initially.
Yeah.
But now we're actually working on projects together, which is really, really nice.
She don't even remember how we met though. Like,
Let's get into
I kind of felt some type of way.
Let's go. Spill the tea.
So how do we meet? She
What's
don't
the
remember.
anniversary date, girl?
No,
What's
right.
the
You
anniversary
know the
date?
story.
I don't know the story.
No, I know the story. So we were in.
Oh, she really don't remember how you met.
Yes, no, for real, she really don't. No, we were.
We've been together literally like every week
I will
for
say
like
that.
the
I've been
last
seeing-
5 weeks.
I've been seeing
So I'm like, I don't
pictures
remember when I
online.
in
saw you.
different cities though.
These two together. I saw a flyer post up last week with y'all about some kind of event going on. Like, they've been traveling the world on the world tour.
No, like we just met like 2 months ago
For the first time
in
Hustling.
person.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, me and Kevin just met, 4 months ago?
Wow, and look at that. Look at that, the momentum.
happens, yeah,
But
it
we
happens.
were together on a real estate investing like seminar or something back in probably like 2 years ago now. And it was all on Facebook.
Okay.
And that's how I first got introduced to her, and then just stayed in contact from there. And then I reached out to her in March. This woman, try to get in touch with her. Like,
Whatever. Kevin gets in touch with me.
No,
I
okay.
respond to
She
all
was
his-
answering my DMs.
I can't-
I respond to all Kevin's DMs.
well, I can get in touch with her now, of course. But, just, it was in March. And so I hosted my second annual women's online summit for Flipping in Heels. And I wanted to, again, through the platform promote, like show women who are killing it. So I instantly thought of her. I was like, yo, I just knew she was doing a bunch of wholesaling. I didn't know she was this phenomenal. I just knew, she was doing her thing, but she really, really doing her thing. Yeah. But anyway, so reached out to her and marched for that. And then, we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
For sure. So,
Christina, so like what market is it?
Yeah. So Christina Spells, my primary market is St. Louis, Missouri. However, I do some virtual wholesaling in upstate South Carolina, which is like Greenville, Spartanburg area. And then some stuff in Virginia Beach, which is really random. Yep. And then every once in a while, something in Charlotte comes up. But yeah, so primary strategy, honestly, wholesaling. Like I love wholesaling so much. I do syndicate funds. I work with a lot of investors out of the country in Israel. And that's honestly my passion. Like I found out, I would say like some of my favorite people live in Israel. And it's because like, honestly, like just genuine people like us, like, cause when I met Kevin, like, Kevin and I have been vibing since day one. I was like, like you the only person like that I rock with like that from Miami. Like, cause Miami people like are just different kind of people.
Different country. We're in a different country.
It's a foreign country. So, and like with me being so far removed, I moved out of Miami when I was in 9th grade. And obviously I grew up in this environment that's very, very flashy. And someone's always trying to show something that they don't necessarily have. And so I became honestly really resentful about that. So when I met, everyone that I know in Miami is obviously I grew up with them. So it's a little different. But when I met Kevin, I was like, yo, you genuine as fuck. Like, you from Miami? I'm like, I ain't never met nobody in my adult life from Miami that I didn't know before. So, that's part of it. Like, I'm not trying to trash talk. but real, yeah. So, so I think that's one of the things, obviously, like in everything.
So you trying to say my cousins are in Israel? What you trying to say?
They might be.
I think mine are.
Really? Ain't no black people in this room.
We got some Hebrews over there. That's another conversation. Don't get us started.
Right. I was like, we're lacking diversity here. Yeah. I was like, no one, like, nope.
So that trip that you just came back from Israel, you were also meeting your business contacts.
Yeah, so I met a lot of my investors for the first time. Yeah. So a lot of investors that I've cultivated relationships with through email, through phone conversations, through FaceTime, honestly, that just flourished into something more. It's kind of crazy because when you're working so hard, you don't really like look up sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then like when I got the chance to look up, I was like, yo, we're creating something that's just so much bigger than I could have even thought of like 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And it all comes with relationships, with connections and things like that. Like Rashawn and I, we just sold out a women's event and we rented out a mansion in Denver. Crystal Polite's going to be there. There's going to be just so many like dope women that have bought a mastermind ticket to be there for the whole weekend. And it's like, when you think about it, you're just working, you're going through the motions. And when you look up, you're like, yo, we're creating something that was just a dream so long ago. Mm-hmm. But I think that comes with putting your head down and just getting to work instead of, thinking so much about the end game.
It comes with just shut up and do it.
Yeah.
Like the whole podcast, Shut Up and Invest, we just say, listen, so many people, all these ideas and these thoughts, we just go out there and do it, put it out there, it's going to come back. Right?
Yeah. And I put out a post just the other day and it said, everybody's looking for the how when the secret sauce is in the do. What are you doing? Yeah. Everybody's like, I want to know how. It's like, you just do
it.
And you stay in that space for so long, honestly, because you are looking for a secret sauce. Like someone's supposed to come in and tell you like A, B, C, D, E. Mm-hmm. And then you're supposed to like do everything how they've done it. And every market's different. Definitely. Everyone's results different. Mm-hmm. Everyone's consistency is different. But if you could just take action on a consecutive level, like.
And everyone's goal is different, right?
Yeah.
Right. We talk about it a lot. Like, you might live a certain way where you need how many deals per month. Because people get caught up in, I got to do 15.
Yes.
That's not normal. There are people who do that, but the normal guy can live off 5 deals a month.
Most people can live. I mean, if you're in Boston, like I know, in Boston, like you do one deal a month, $50,000, $100,000. Right. Bro, you only need one.
Are you
exactly. So you can't look at others. You just got to do it how it is for you, and then it all will work out.
We got a lot to talk about because y'all went from Israel to a mastermind. We got a mansion in Denver. I got a couple questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, if you had to break down just really quick your market, how would you describe your market, and what was your breakthrough there?
This is the tour guide of Chicago. Ain't nobody better in Chicago than this girl to take you on a bus. And so you from the west side to the south side.
That's right. And you know what? There's passion behind that because I love my city, born and raised. And the thing about that was when Chicago started being on the news, portrayed as this horrible place, this war zone. And that's why at the beginning I was like, you're right. You said Chi-Town. You have to be right. It's Chi-Town, not Chirac, because we got that. We got labeled as such. Yeah. And as my brand grew more on social media, and I'll go live, people pop in my broadcast, and they like, so is it really that bad in Chicago? Like, are they killing? Did we see anybody get shot? Kid? Like, none of that, Like, oh, what's up, Chirac? And I'm like, no, that's not it. But anyway, yeah, so in regards to the market, so I tell people, Chicago, the great thing about Chicago is that it's good for whatever it is you want to do. Now, I know you can't say that in every market, right? Like, obviously, you can't say, like, LA is a cash flow market, own one single family house, right? But in Chicago, in the Midwest, you can. So if you want to wholesale, you can wholesale in Chicago. If you want to do rentals, you can cash flow. If you want to flip, you can flip in Chicago. So it's a great market for whatever it is you want to do. And so right now, my primary strategy is so I'm flipping right now, but I'm flipping and then also transitioning into buy and hold and considering some Airbnb, but flipping because it's a flip market. It makes sense. Now. Like right now, right?
And also right now there, because some spots it's not, right?
Right, exactly.
It's always local, so.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I would say that also being a realtor helps me have that knowledge and that experience of the market and how it's shifting. That's how I know that every single buyer wants a 2-flat right now,
right?
Because the buyers are coming to me and this is what they're looking for. So as an investor, I can also shift and bring that product to the market.
And you said you're a realtor. I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed broker in
nice.
Florida and Michigan.
Okay.
And I also thought I was the investor's realtor before you said that.
Well, I own the hashtag.
So it's trademarked.
I don't even use my license that much, but I got my license in 2007. All I did was investors, right? So that's how I got the knowledge of what I do right now. I work with investors in the banks. So when the market crashed, I was working for a brokerage that did all the bank REOs. Right. So we had all these deals. I was the buyer's agent. I kind of came up through that, Yeah. So that key of being a realtor does give you, because a lot of people ask you, should you get your license as a wholesaler? I say you don't need it, right? And honestly, I don't tell people to get their license now because the license of a realtor is kind of changing the job of it.
And it depends what market.
The good wholesaler is the realtor now, honestly, right? But the knowledge you got from those years of that does help you.
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. I think there's definitely some key factors in what you just said as far as like the market crashing and then doing all the REOs for the bank. Like the market crashed, but the banks didn't crash. The banks didn't crash, right? The banks didn't. I mean, and they took some losses, right? But they didn't.
But there was a strategy.
There was a strategy, exactly. And as investors, we have to do the same thing, right? Like you have to.
The banks made more money through that than they ever did in history, right?
Exactly.
So, as an investor, you have to kind of know how to ride the wave.
Exactly.
And how to adjust your strategy. But even if you think about it, like, because I took a job at a title company for a while. After I started wholesaling, I'm like, like, there's something that I could learn in this transition, right? Mm-hmm. So I took a job at a title company.
This is when the market crashed.
No. This was 3 years ago. Okay, yeah. Okay. And I took a job at a title company, and I was wholesaling. I was doing it successfully. And then the owner of the title company and I were like, hey, can you take a business development? And, I'm not from St. Louis. I'm like, this is perfect. I get paid and I get paid to network. Like, I'm just wine and dining agents and investors.
Yeah, title company people mean everybody.
Yeah. So it was perfect. It was a perfect fit for me to grow my network, my brand. And as I'm doing this, I'm closing loans. And I'm like, well, damn. So you buying $100,000 house. It's right here in the little corner, on the left, at the top of the closing disclosure. And they say you're going to pay $300,000 for your $100,000 house.
I know where you're going with that.
And I'm like, well, damn. You going to do what? And then that was the whole thing. I was like, that's crazy. So I know, the real game, like the bank game, like all that stuff. Like, there's so much money in every part of real estate. It doesn't really matter. Yep. You just have to figure out where it is and adjust your strategy whenever that is. Yeah.
We always talk about, especially like the realtor thing, because you see a lot of realtors become a realtor and be all over the place. And it's key to find your niche as a realtor. Right? My niche was investors. I don't want to sell you your house for you and your husband. Or I don't want to go show you a house 10 times. Right? I don't want your auntie and your grandma telling me that the house needs. I hate that. Right?
It's just not big enough, ma'am. You said 3,000 square feet.
Like right.
And your uncle's a contractor. You want to build a house before. I can't do that, right? But
and then they like, what? We got to put down earnest money. What?
So it's all about your niche. And in wholesale, our main thing now, one of our hashtags, our big hashtags, is be your own bank, right? We're pushing the wholesale financing model because we know what happens when the wholesale profits run out, which, it won't for people who are really doing the good. But a lot of these new wholesale, it will run out, right? You got to own something, right? And like you said, when you saw that interest and principle of there, how much the bank makes, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like, be the bank now. Be the bank.
And I think that's such a great strategy because obviously, so we'll talk about my market a little bit. So St. Louis is cash flow. Yes, I do flips. We do a few flips at a time, but it's primarily cash flow. I mean, we're under $50,000 a door. In some places, $70,000, $80,000, like on the really high rent, where you're getting $1,200, $1,300 a month. Which I mean, if you're if anyone's listening, like they're gonna be like, yo, like that's amazing numbers. But
that's what I do Midwest. So they hear the rest, and
so that's just the Midwest numbers, right? But at the end of the day is with wholesaling, right? And I'm so passionate about wholesaling. And when you're first getting started, it's kind of hard because you're in this realm of making money, right?
Yeah, you got marketing, you're still learning to do it, and it's not consistent yet.
It's not consistent. But then even when it becomes consistent, you're like, yo, it's like a good profit. Like, I could just turn this real fast. And that's the broke man's mentality, right? Like, you're always in that, what's the next hustle? What's the next thing? And you fail to realize, like, yo, if I just put this $5,000 one-time wholesale fee and I, put it into a seller finance deal that maybe I'm just rehabbing, putting paint, carpet, getting it turned, like, yo, that money goes so much further in the long-term, like, generational wealth perspective than just like in that short-term gain. And it's hard when you're trying to...
Yeah, in the beginning, you're like, let me make them 6 digits. And then once you hit the 6 digits, you're like, let me make multiple 6 digits.
Yeah. It's never enough.
And then you hit the multiple 6 digits and you're like, well, hold on a second. December 31st, I'm going to pop a bottle. Then January 1st, I got to do it all over again.
Right.
Because I'm back at 0.
You get tired. We've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this since 2007. Kevin, I don't know how long you guys have been in it, but you realize, man, I can wholesale a lot, but the generational wealth is the key. Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get that unless you own the property, unless you own something, unless you become the bank.
So now, most people started in wholesaling, and then as a realtor, and now you guys are talking about setting something up for the future.
Right.
Is that kind of what the mastermind's about? What's the purpose of you guys bringing, and is it just women only at this mastermind too?
So we can't come to Denver?
Yeah. We're going to have to do what we're doing again here. We're going to rent the house next door. We're going to rent the house next door, and y'all come over. We'll do a little podcast.
Shut the door, don't come outside.
Oh, we got a nice view on Denver too.
We're like, the house is like this crystal box. Like, it's like a crystal. I don't know.
It's called the glass house.
It's got like the high
in the mountain.
floor to ceiling.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the premise? You guys are getting how many ladies together?
So we're at 10.
Nice.
10-ish. Yeah, 10-ish.
What's the name of the event?
Profits and Impact Weekend.
Okay.
And you guys sold out like in 12, what? Like
yeah,
in
it
12
was like
hours?
by the morning. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I like called her. I'm like crying. I'm like, bro, like we really sold out. And it's like, it's crazy because we come from such a place of giving, right?
Yeah.
Like we constantly show up for people, show out for people, go to events and pour everything that we have into people, right? And we never ask for anything in return. And so with this, it was the first time that Rashawn and I have actually asked for a monetary investment into something that we're putting on, right? And so
and a big ticket investment.
How much was it?
$2,500. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I mean, it covers all your meals and everything, but at the same time, it's like, but when I tell you, like, women didn't even flinch, and I think that goes with your brand recognition. It comes with knowing that you're gonna show up for people. And that there was still people that were like, yo, I didn't notice. Like, it was only 10 tickets. Like, all this extra stuff because you've built that trust. Brand and that trust that you show. Whenever you show up, you're giving everything you got.
Right.
And I think that transposes into when you're working with investors, with other people's money.
Absolutely.
They know that if you lose your shit, you gonna make sure they get theirs.
Right, period. Yeah, like the majority of my investors I've never met. You know, like they see how I move on social media and they're like, look, I see what you do. Like one of my investors is here. I don't know where he is, Orlando or something. I don't know. I just know he's in Florida.
You're in Miami.
I was like, he's here.
Ma'am, in Miami.
Here, you know?
He's somewhere in the hemisphere.
He's not here.
Yeah, no, but we've never met before. Literally, like he DM'd me. Like, check your DMs, you know,
But that's
'cause it might be
different.
an
That's different than the traditional
He's slid in the
DM.
DMs, okay?
Like regular DMs is like, hey, you cute.
Right.
You real cute.
This
Well,
one was
listen.
up.
Well, listen.
That DM said,
It was
"Baby,
a, I got money for you.
Like, oh,
I got money.
Listen, if you gonna approach me,
Right, you better come with a bag.
And what's funny is that he's actually, and he told me this, like I actually have, you know, $200,000-$300,000 I don't want to invest, but we're gonna try this out first. You know, we're gonna test this first, and then we'll see, you know, how things go from there. And literally the week after that, like the wire hit, you know, and it was just like, even taking a step back, like you said, looking up, like, okay, wait. This is a stranger who has never seen me before.
You've never shaken hands before.
Never looked eye to eye before. I don't even know what the man looked like. Because he one of them, you know, he don't really post and all that, you know.
But on your social media, for people that haven't followed you, you're there, talking about
Showing
the deals
up.
you're doing.
Oh, no, not just my deals.
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah, like how to invest using your 401k, your Roth IRA, the mistakes that I've made on projects. I just went $15,000 over budget. This is why. You know, don't think like it's easy out here.
Yeah, that's
like, this the real, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of losses in this. I mean, in real estate. Like,
Yeah.
we win a lot. We win more than we lose, but the losses mount up.
That's what I was.
Tell people that we lost,
And
we
they still
lose.
hurt too.
Yeah, they hurt. You know,
No matter how much you
that's
win, you
part
still
of the game.
remember.
Yeah,
sure.
but
But
you
you
got
learn
to keep
all of them.
pushing
Keep going.
forward.
So
yeah.
then he saw, probably been following you for a minute, and then approached you through social media, because a lot of people think social media is a waste of time,
Right.
but it's making you money.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they said, conversation through phone or Skype
Phone.
or what?
Phone.
A phone?
Yeah, we just got on the phone.
And then a week later, you had a wire transfer of a few $100,000.
No. That one was 50.
Okay.
That one was 50,
But still,
but he wants to
$50,000.
invest $2
Can
to
I get
$3.
$10 real quick?
You know, he wants to invest $200,000 to $300,000, but we're gonna try
What
$50,000.
type of deals?
So that deal is actually a rental deal. So that one was purchased as to be a long-term rental, and it's just
Is that the townhouse?
so the townhouse. Yeah. So Christina saw it on the bus tour that I told you. Christina been stalking me, y'all, for like 2 months. No, I'm just playing.
townhouse?
We've been together literally like every other weekend. We are together in a different city. But anyway, because I had a bus tour in Chicago, because again from social media, a lot of investors are like, y'all want to come to Chicago? I want to check out. They see the numbers and everything that's going on. And so I was like, well, look, that's a full day event. So y'all can all come on the same day, because I'm not, driving everybody around. So we're going to do a bus tour and all that. So anyway, so Christina saw it. And it's a townhome in South Shore. South Shore is right next to the beach, right next to Lake Michigan, just south of where the new President Obama Library is going. It's definitely an up-and-coming area. Chance the Rapper does a lot of stuff in the area, has a restaurant and stuff.
Are you on first name basis with Chance?
No.
Yeah,
I'm like Chance. I mean,
Hey, Chance, just
My boy
Kanye,
my boy Chance.
So you're putting him in this
my
deal.
homeboy.
You're putting him in
So
this
yeah,
deal.
so he's in the deal as the investor. So for almost all my deals, how it's structured is that like I have a hard money lender who obviously has first lien position on the property, and then I bring in a private investor to put down a down payment, and then also hold the holding cost. So whatever the lender says, like, hey, okay, you need for this deal to get done, this is what we need to see. I go straight to the investor and say, this is what I need. And what I love about it is the majority of my investors look like me. Right? Like I'm giving other people an opportunity to get started, because that was my very first deal. Someone allowed me the opportunity to invest in their project. And I was a broke college student at the time. I was like 22, 23. And it was like, but I knew I wanted to do real estate, and the minimum investment was like $5,000. I was like, all I got is $2,500. Can I please be on this deal? And when she will tell you to this day, I showed up. I was at that property asking questions. So what does this mean? Okay, it's got mold. Like who did? Is that the association? Like she said, more than her $40,000 investor. I showed up, and so for me to have that experience and turn around and give that to other people, like my minimum is $10,000. So, but I do allow people to invest in my projects.
So in these deals, you're taking equity. Right? Like they're putting the money up. They get equity partner.
Not with my investors. No,
They're just
no,
return
they
on
get a flat
investment.
percent.
Okay,
Yeah.
flips. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's just the short term.
Okay.
Yeah,
Money.
short term.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
technically, with people out there that are listening, just like the story you just expressed, you don't need $100,000, $50,000 to get into the game.
No,
Right.
but you need to have something. Just
Access.
bring your cash or your credit, or if you have a skilled trade that you can bring, you have to bring something to the table. And on another interview,
Can I
that
get your
did,
money?
I'm getting it.
we call it mentor hacking, because here's the thing: everybody's running around and they looking for a free mentor, right? Can you mentor me? Can you
Always.
mentor me? I want you to
That's
mentor
all
me.
day.
And
All
first of all,
day.
the mentor finds you.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't find a mentor finds you. However, if you are approaching somebody, you need to be coming with something to the table. So even if it is, again, $10,000, $15,000. Hey, this is what I have. And for me, if you're investing in your money with me, I want you to invest again. So I'm going to answer your calls. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to send you pictures. I'm going to send you updates. I want you to show up to the project, and we're going to do this thing, and you can be as involved as you want or not. And, just keep it rolling. Yeah.
So in this mastermind, you're taking 10 ladies.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys are showing them what's kind of the premise.
So they're kind of all at different spaces, but it's just going to be a super intimate weekend. So it'll be Rashana and I, and then our really good friend Crystal Polite will be there as well. Just because she really specializes like on the co-preneurship, and like really working with a partner and like really successfully having like a marriage
without
that
killing
works.
each other. We're going to get them on that show.
That
Hear the
works.
Polites figured out the code.
They've
The secret
They hacked
sauce.
that.
secret code.
That relationship money
Yeah.
code.
Sauce.
And I mean, I think the biggest thing, with that is that I've learned is just so much like using each other's strengths and weaknesses, right?
Right.
But I mean, with that, we're gonna go kind of through everything, like how to source
A to Z.
deals, how to source deals, how to raise money, some of the techniques that we use. But really, is gonna be more of a retreat kind of thing. We rented a house. This is just like amazing.
It's got a
Everybody's staying in the house?
jacuzzi.
Yeah, everyone's
So
staying.
For
in
how
the
many
house.
days?
Staying in the house.
Yeah, everybody's staying in the house. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds like reality
No,
TV.
it's like 4 nights. It's like
it's
3
4 nights?
3 nights.
3
3
nights.
nights, 3 nights.
It's 3 nights. So
Yeah.
it'll be Thursday night
Saturday
will be
night.
like the welcome dinner, and then we're gonna just go all day Friday. We're gonna have a private chef. So in
Oh, yeah.
between our sessions,
Okay.
we're gonna
That's awesome.
have our chef cooking up some goodness for us. So that'll be all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then we'll end Sunday morning with like breakfast or brunch, and then our last session. But in between, it'll just be it's a really good girlfriend time. So we'll be
Yeah.
bonding. Like I said, there's a jacuzzi, there's a fire pit, probably do some s'mores.
Yeah.
But also, we're gonna deep dive into businesses, relationships, business relationships. I'm sure we'll talk about marriage and kids and like just
The girl
things,
stuff.
things like as a woman in business, like things that we need to talk about and
Yeah.
things that we need to let go of. Like sometimes, the problem ain't them, it's you.
Yeah, and I think a big thing. Well,
I would do money, but I can't do that.
like you give it to Christina. She's like, like
Is that
No,
kind
but
of-
seriously,
yeah.
No, but I think that's the thing, and we're all even at a successful point, and when you are an alpha female, it's very hard to have even relationships like in business and relationships, personal relationships, where you really have to figure out who you're attracting, teach
Yeah,
people how to
definitely.
treat you, continuously teach people how to treat you, right? Because at the end of the day, you're the one that sets the stage for
Right.
your life and for the relationships that you have in your life. So it's really hard. A lot of times people struggle with that. And there's such a void in those super intimate relationships that we have. I mean, we have them as a high level because there's very few of us that are pouring in at the degree that we're pouring in. So we cling to each other, right? But I feel like as you're going up, I didn't have that. I didn't have anyone. I spent $90,000 in a guru program, and no one in that room was young, was Hispanic. Like no one looked like me. No one could relate to me. Like I couldn't ask anyone for advice on stuff like that. And it was strictly business. And I feel like
I'm curious, you still have relationships with any of those people there?
No, not at all.
That's crazy.
No, I dropped out.
Yeah.
I'm a guru
The
dropout.
thing is, but
Look
I hear
at me
that
now.
story a lot.
Yeah.
People
Look at
spend
me
a
now.
lot of even when you see
Yeah.
the price of this, right? It's $2,500. That's nothing compared to what people are spending every day for
On
these
a 90,000.
I mean,
you know?
and $2,500 honestly is a small, really
that's
small investment.
And then
Yeah.
the course, whatever, the workshop, market, that's very, very small. And I guarantee they're going to get more from this course than they will from that 40,000 guru course.
Right.
So like you guys, again, you gave back again, right? Like I know you just said we asked for monetary, but still, you're giving away still.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you should see how much the mansion costs by itself.
I know you're giving away.
But I'll tell you what,
That's a bag.
not only do I give you guys props.
A bag? Shit, there's like 10 bags. Shit.
Truck.
I'm like, didn't you just say that?
That's a Birkin bag.
Right.
But let me ask you a question, because there's people listening and they're asking, if you guys are so busy, you guys are taking time out of your actual
Business.
hustle, your business to pour into this.
Yep.
I imagine that there's also good joint venture opportunities that come from this thing. Like, yes, we're pouring in and we're helping people, but at the same time, there's business being done at these.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. Like 90% of success is showing up. So if you just show up, like the rest will take care of itself. Of course, you got to put in the work and obviously, and then follow up. But it starts with showing up. Like most people won't get their ass up and get out of bed,
Right.
and then still wonder why they're not successful.
Right.
Like, but these women dropped $2,500 with no question. Like I just knew. Like even both the night before we dropped it, we were going back and forth. Like, okay, should we go? Like first we were at this price, we were at this price. No, let's take it down. Like because we like. We don't
That's
know.
the first one.
We don't know.
yeah.
We don't know. But we want to make sure it's fair. We want to make sure it makes sense. It's worth our time. It's also reasonable. And literally, like I was so prepared to just answer a bunch of DMs, right? Like people was gonna be like, "So
When
what's
I
this?"
tell you no one message, no one.
No, all
I
I
was
was
like-
my email. I was just texting her like, such and such is paid. Such and such is paid. I was just sending her names. Like,
And it's crazy,
it was
like to
that.
think about it, but it's like, yo, like that's the shit that happens when you literally are just creating.
Yeah.
Like you're creating a safe place for people. Like you can't just go into a space, right, and be like, I demand $2,500.
Right.
You've already, first of all, off of the content that I share for free, people have already made hundreds of thousands of dollars. People have raised private money just because of one thing Rashana has told them.
Right.
And so I think that that's where that value comes in.
Yeah.
I think that that's where people are willing to show up for you because they're like, yo, you've done so much for me already. But
Right, let's go next level.
and that is, I think that transcribes on such a small level with a seller, right? Like people don't realize like all you're doing is showing up for them.
Come on.
Like they're going through something and you just have to be the person. And you might not be the person that's going to solve that issue, but you need to find out who the fuck's going to do that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
All we're doing is solving problems, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm more of a psychiatrist than I'm a
Oh,
salesman.
yeah.
Like,
An
I'm-
unlicensed
Yes.
therapist.
like, I
Shit.
give therapy. I mean, I know deals where I'm having to talk to a sister and a brother who don't talk anymore. because
Right.
A parent died. I'm bringing them to the closing table and making them be together.
Right.
again,
Yeah. And they're like,
I'm like, my wife said, I'm like, Jackie, this is hard today. Like, this is on me, right? So you got to deal with people. I mean,
Yeah.
good to
It's a
people.
people
Be good to
business.
people.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
this is
thing.
going to be the first annual one.
Yep.
The next one, I already heard the rumble is going to be where? Tell
Nah.
Tell people how to get
Kevin
it.
Kevin said he's
all
sponsoring.
conferences come to Miami. No.
Kevin said, "Shut up and invest" is sponsoring.
You said Kevin.
Hey, I'm in on this. I like
This
this.
is what happens when you answer people's DMs. Right.
I'm in on this. 2020 in Miami.
2020 Miami spring.
Yeah.
We don't know all the
be
logistics
here.
yet.
Yeah.
We'll help you out. We'll be a sponsor.
I know we're in like
We
Flex.
already
We're
let
doing
you
it
know.
in Miami.
We'll sponsor.
Is there a website or something that you want people to follow you? And
I'm sure we can.
Yeah, I mean, for now, the people are like, "Yo, send me." No, follow me because everything is gonna be
Posted
out.
on there.
Yeah. I mean, and eventually we'll get the like a sign up list, like a waiting list. We'll put that out. But for now, literally everything that I do, I put out.
Yeah.
how can they follow you?
Oh, I'm Rashana Scott everywhere.
RA.
SHAUNASCOTT.
That's why she started
Facebook,
rapping.
Instagram, Twitter, right? They call me UN.
And Christina spells on all social media platforms as well.
2 L's or 1
I just
L?
want to say
2 L's and an
2
S.
Yes.
And the spells.
Yeah.
Listen, we're here all weekend. We're going to try to steal you guys for a little bit to talk about a couple different strategies, but I really wanted to talk about this mastermind, what you guys are doing for ladies. I respect that.
Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate it.
excited about what you guys got going on, and then we might have to rent that house next door.
We're gonna
nice
I
house.
see a house across.
The one that's floating on the water.
Floating on the water. We
Yeah.
got right here, 2020.
No,
Diddy got a
I'm gonna
house
show
over
y'all
there.
this house
Diddy has a house
though.
over there
When we
too,
get out,
you know?
I'm gonna show y'all this house.
I
It's
just want to say
nice.
though, you know, I got 3 daughters, right? My wife's basically saved me. I was lost, so she found me, right? My mom, my aunts raised me. So like this event was big to us, but just seeing, you know, like you said, women. But the thing is, they don't just look like us, because I know how it is. We're all minority right here, right?
Right.
I got in with 07. There was no black guys, especially at 26,
Yeah.
doing us. I would go to these conferences by myself, you know?
Right.
So to see this is what really inspires us, and that's what
Yeah.
we try to make this platform for. So
And let me just tell you, even like the collaboration over competition, right? Like this girl, I'm not gonna get emotional, but this girl, like, we are like the same person. It's so weird.
And then our triplet.
And then Crystal, it's like we are a mess together. She said, so we were on a group text, and she said, Dedrick was like, yo, that group text must be fire because you cracking up over that. but no, seriously, like, you know, I don't even remember. I think you brought it up first.
Yeah.
You were like, I wanted to do a mastermind, and like,
because that was my vision. My vision
Right.
has always been just rent out a mansion, super intimate, high level,
right.
and as everything, you know, you say, yeah, we are busy, and I'm still working in my business. Like,
Yeah.
I own a property management company that I just use
That's
to manage
business.
our own
Yeah, that's
properties,
crazy.
Yeah.
and I'm setting up the system. So I'm still very involved. I syndicate, I travel, I talk to my
Right.
sellers, my buyers. Like,
Yep.
I have, you know, acquisition managers, but I also support them. Like, I can't lead from the back. I got to lead from the front. And so, yeah, I am very involved in my business. But at the same time, it's like this is something we always talk about. It's like, if we don't show up, someone else is. And they're going to give the wrong information.
Come on.
Yes.
They're going to give the wrong information or bad information or information that's going to manipulate, that's going to take money out of
I was
money
just about to
that
say, are they
we're
gonna do
giving
it for the wrong reason?
I'm like, yo, we literally share everything on social media. There's nothing that I haven't said before.
Right.
There's nothing, but I have to, you just might not be ready to receive it today.
Yeah.
And then maybe in a week, 2 weeks, your life changes and you hear this again and you're like, what the hell?
Right,
you know, like
right.
everything just starts clicking again.
Yeah.
So,
And
That's
we,
100% true. I mean, the reason why we started this podcast is because we were like, man, like we've been doing this for a long time. A lot of
yeah, you guys have seen a lot of sick.
I've seen a lot. You know, we've
Yeah,
been
and
through
Kevin too. You've been through a lot of market cycles.
We've been in together. Like,
20. I started at 20. I'm 38 now.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
and we see there's a lot of people in this space giving wrong information.
Right.
And so me and him both felt like, man, how can we sit out here and not get us away for free when we know so much?
Right.
'Cause if we don't give it out, somebody will fill the void, and it will be
Absolutely.
incorrect
Yeah.
or take advantage.
But
of
to make it to unique to y'all, and we'll end it like this. There's a lot of news right now about the U.S. Women American, the national soccer team, about raising equal pay to the men and whatnot. In your unique way, you guys are doing that in the economy for women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that right there, I mean, much respect.
Yeah, we gotta do it for
Much
ourselves.
respect.
Yeah, we were at first gonna do a podcast together, and then we couldn't figure out the name. We couldn't figure out this. We couldn't figure out that. And then we just came back and was like, yo, we just gonna do our own separate podcast. No love lost, no nothing. But we gonna do this mastermind.
Yeah.
Like we know our synergy was just that crazy. But again, we show up for women the same way. Like, and it's crazy because now that I'm growing more into like even in the social media space, like people come up to me and they're like, "You're Rashana Scott," and I'm like, "Yeah, give me a hug." Like I'm not.
Yeah, I'm like the first one. I'm like,
I'm like, yeah, give me a hug. But no, I've seen it and I've experienced it. Like the people who have big followings and, you know, all of a sudden the mean girls and
bougie.
stuff like
and
that.
they be like, yes. Like, and that's the
Yeah,
thing. So
like,
it's that you
yeah.
lose that connectivity, and that's something that we're very humbled by. We talk about it all the time. In every space, we're always like, yo, like, it's crazy because we're just showing up. Like, it's like,
It's authentic.
Yeah,
because
very.
That's what it
we're
is.
not changing anything. Like, if you come to St. Louis, you like, you know, the whole podcast thing, I'm talking to my friends. Like, nothing really changes. Like, I'm talking to people I fuck with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, y'all heard it here first. These ladies out here killing
They'll
the
be
game.
back. We're not here for another day, so you guys come back.
Giving back to the ladies out here. I appreciate y'all for
This is
coming
like
on the
cool,
show,
Thank
man.
you, thank
ladies
you.
first,
Honestly.
ladies first video. We
Y'all
got-
open it up. For
Dope.
real.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
for
y'all
having
hear
us.
it. No problem. 2020 in Miami.
Right.
Got it.
Hey, thank you once again for listening to Shut Up and Invest. If you guys are motivated at the thought of continuing your real estate journey with us, then visit shutupandinvest.com. There you can join our community and take advantage of more free resources. And don't forget, please like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast so you're first to hear our new content every week. Most importantly, get active and don't forget to shut up and invest.